I think that one went pretty good. HFR from the floor, Miss Trade, Matt Davio, Robert Heffernan, sometimes Bob. Matt, name the tune. I say,
oh, Domino.
I say, whoa, 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 Domino.
Domino.
When I fucking hack that up. Matt, I bring that in because it seems to me, as hard as they try, it seems like some dominoes are falling, and not necessarily in a good way. Before we get to dominoes, Matt, betting, we talked about this before coming in. A little rough weekend on the Davio betting system. You know, I said, there's a profession, if you are a 70% failure, you're a fucking multimillionaire. And it's not sports gambling.
Well, in the last 3 weeks, my only strategy in the NFL gamble, and it is a gamble because like we talk about, you drop off an Aaron Rodgers and somehow Jordan whatever still competes against Mahomes.
Not only that, dude, if the receiver reacts like the DB does on the interception, I mean, they win the game. And if Nathan Crosby hits 2 field goals, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. So the last 3 weeks we've told our viewers, the only strategy I have is, and it's not a good one, but it's the only one I have.
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy. Is take the double-digit fave. So we went 2-1, then 1-2, and this week we're 1-2 again. So we're down 1 game out of the 9 that we have placed a bet. So it's been fun. It's been nothing but exciting. But yesterday, Jacksonville upsets them. I mean, I guess what you should do is you should also money line hedge yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the money line in Jacksonville, the money line in Jacksonville had to be 1,000. Had to be. I don't know what it was, but it had to be. Anyway, and then on the college side, I got wiped out too. I was 0 for 3 in my 3-team parlay. All 3 lost, by the way. They were all USC was an underdog, and I took the 8.5. They lost by like 16, so they lost, did not cover. And then what else? Ohio State only won they were 10 instead of, they needed 14, 15. They didn't cover, and Michigan State flat out lost. So
Purdue, dude, unreal.
I was watching game day and everybody, I was like, oh, this narrative has just been every better. Like, there's no way this is going to be right, because including my son, everybody was like, oh, I got Purdue. It's the letdown game. I'm like, it's the most obvious letdown game ever that it's not going to be a letdown. And they didn't play bad, but Purdue was good. I got to say, Purdue is, and they're on top of the Western Division now. So go Purdue Boilermakers.
How about it? And not only that, Matt, 17 upsets of top 5 teams when they're not ranked. Purdue Boilermakers by far and away better than any other team.
Oh, they said it's football, record, 17 wins over top 5 teams. And I've been at one of those. I was at one in 1976 when Michigan was number 1, and they were looking forward to Ohio State the next week at home. My grandfather takes me on my first plane trip at 10 years old on my birthday to West Lafayette, Indiana, of all places, to have your first flight. Detroit to West Lafayette. What a flight. And
a mush was born. Michigan
lost that game like 16-0.
It's unbelievable. It's like nearly impossible. Let's just
the spoiler makers, man. I'm telling you, there's some dark energy, especially down in West Lafayette when they are playing the top.
And by the way, Lee gets a prize. Yes, you bet 300, 3 of 10 in Major League Baseball, and you are a multi-millionaire. Anyway, Matt, how about the narratives now around COVID and the NFL, particularly our
well, have you noticed I have my Aaron Rodgers, look going today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Terry Bradshaw calling. First of all, he couldn't even get it as horse dewormer. He said cattle dewormer.
I know.
But the constant narrative, I was actually taken aback and stunned at how much they have pigeonholed this guy for his God-given right to determine what goes into his body. And most importantly for me was last night, and Drew Brees talking this fucking line of bullshit that you have an obligation to your team. And Matt, with that, I don't know if I can share yet, but let me share because I tweeted it to him, and I tweeted him, Drew, did his obligation to his team include dying? Because this was shared. And I never remember a time where more young, healthy people have either had cardiac arrest or have died. Boris Sadecki dies after collapsing on ice, cardiac arrest last Friday. 80% of that league vaxxed. I don't know if he does or has the jab or not. But it's Jenna Ellis sharing Jennifer Siebel Newsom. It's funny how certain folks can't handle the truth when someone cancels something. Maybe it's just office working. Maybe it's their free time. They want to be home with their family. Here's a guy that couldn't wait to get in front of any camera anytime, especially around climate stuff. And he's MIA for 11, 12 days now.
12 days now. Jab. Yeah.
It goes on and on.
And by the way, his wife's tweet was removed after she tweeted that. So
there's the hockey player, and whoa, the hell happened? The UK now 232 fully vaccinated, over 70 dead, compared to 538 not. But what I wanted to share also, Matt, was this tweet. And it's just, we're living in some fucked up times, because this was the this person, Brock, the FinTwit warlord, just typed in Kim Keong vaccinated into Twitter, and Twitter's already blocking this news and giving you Homeland Security or Health and Human Services.gov message about how great it is to get vaxxed. I'm like, who is this guy? So I typed, I copy and pasted that into Google. Nothing on this guy. So then I did the same thing and put it into DuckDuckGo. And in DuckDuckGo, at least I got the article about who this guy is and how everybody's heartbroken. Dead at 20, iconic gamer, Overwatch League Rookie of the Year, passes away. And the incredible thing is the entire article, the kid's 20, completely healthy. The entire article, not a single mention of what he died of. Fiery plane crash, crotch rocket over a cliff, 3 hookers and blow, nothing on how they. It's an
well. If he had died of any of those, I definitely would have told you that. That's what always makes me go, Yeah.
I don't know, but it just blows me away that the narrative, like Drew Brees in particular, like the guy's post-economic, right? He's got more money in the bank than me and you could spend in 10 lifetimes, and yet he's willing to sit there and throw a fellow colleague, league player under the bus on this bullshit. It just blows me away. I don't know also what to say about it. Like, narratives are not only are narratives controlled, but they're pushed at a level that we've never seen before. And it just, and meanwhile, Matt, the stock market looked like it wanted to roll over last night. No such luck.
Yeah, Elon came out over the weekend saying, do I need to, he did a Twitter poll asking, should I sell my stock so I don't have to pay the realized gains that the government is trying to push on me? He's not happy with this administration. I also saw an interview. I don't know when it was given, but Musk gave an interview with Kara Swisher, who, used to be Wall Street. I think she just works solo now. She's very left, very lib, but he basically said this is he was pretty harsh in the beginning. Then he kind of pulled it back and just said, this administration didn't invite me or anybody from Tesla to this, electric car summit, he goes, why would you not invite Tesla? Like, it was all Ford, GM, and, the old guard. And, so yeah, this administration is not friendly to me. So I find it interesting. And that's, people are saying that's why the stock's down in Tesla. Well, how about the fact that it just ran 50% and after earnings, and really nothing great came out of those earnings, but it's a classic short squeeze in motion again.
Right on.
And Tesla,
man, we got to talk about something price discovery wise.
Well, we can talk about it because let me just bring up that Tesla chart. That was going to be the first thing I did, and you can see again. And we've had really the last 5 days. We've been up here and we've made new highs at 1250 is the high, and this thing just continues. But it kind of rolled. This is where it was pre-market again down here at 1130. But it did this before last week, and it came back and made a new high. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing trade 1300 again this week because people
we got a little red change of overall tone in the market.
We do. And what that means is you should be short here unless we see a new high on a close. So that's kind of where we are. But yeah, it's interesting because again, this thing is so frothy. I mean, just to come back to 1,000, I would think would be a good test, but what's interesting is 1,000 from current prices is bear market. So that's a 20% off, but the thing just went up. I mean, you got to remember just, late August, we were down here at $600. So this thing's doubled in 2 months. Most of it in the last 2 weeks.
What's crazy about that is the market cap. I mean, yeah, something doubles, but the doubling of the market cap.
Again, market cap of 1.2 trillion, Bob, and they don't make money. They sell a few cars.
Oh, unreal. All right, Matt, Bitcoin is
fundamentals be damned.
A moonshot. Matt is the don't forever on all things crypto.
I just don't care. I just don't care. I have no
non-caring Matt.
I have apathy.
Take a look at it and let me know what you think, because I actually just tried selling it and lost a few short-term shekels. But longer term.
Well, I'm curious. What's your premise for selling it here? Just a double top? If so,
I just thought it was frothy for the day and it rolled over onto some sort of term chart. Believe me, small.
Okay.
A small little intraday.
I don't know. I don't see anything. I'm not excited about shorting it. I'm not excited. And again, it's not. I could see it going. To your point, I could see it going up to 80,000 here.
Yeah. So the collar on the weekly right now, 75,000.
I mean, it just looks like
362.
Just came down there that one day to 58,000. Tested that. Now just kind of grinded back up. It does look like it looks like a cup. Now we just need the handle. We need the handle up to 80, 90, 100,000. Let's get it. Go, boys, go. Have fun.
Oh, you know what? It almost feels like we should just take the rest of the year off, doesn't it?
We're there. I mean, it's done. To me, this market's not going down. And there's all bad news is bought. All news is bought. It's just keep the party going. Build Back Broker continues to fail because they can't break it. So
let me ask you this.
Why do we need this? My question to you and all the audience is, why do we need Build Back Better? Why do we need it when we're at all-time highs in all aspects?
Well, Matt, Build Back Better means let's cancel fossil fuel. Let's just
call it. No. It means things aren't good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all.
That is the narrative.
100% means cancel fossil fuels or cancel everybody. And this is why I bring this up.
How about if we just
I know I told you on Friday, had you seen the last Bill Gates interview? And his interview, he's warning of a smallpox terror attack and urges leaders to use germ games to prepare. This is not a Babylon Bee headline here. This is the actual truth. Not unlike the pandemic, rehearsal that they did. You can't make this shit up. This one, and then I don't know if this one's true or not, but MTG, Nancy Pelosi went house hunting last week in South Florida because they're ready to kill her in San Francisco. She was actually on my play. She wants to retire in Florida, enjoy low taxes, mask-free hair salons, and Republican freedom policies.
Oh my God.
You can't make it up. I don't know if that's true, but I just want to bring you the news.
I mean, this weekend, just the Travis Scott Friday concert debacle. When he's done this before, and it's the same thing. And then afterwards, he's refunding money and he's canceling the show that was coming later this week in Vegas, where more kids were going to trample each other. And by the way, who is letting 10 and 8-year-old kids go to a Travis Scott concert? What is wrong with you people? Let's just start there.
I don't know, Matt.
What is wrong? You know, if these kids are, if they were young, just preteen and teens dying from I hear heart attacks, I hear trampled. Nobody really knows. The story is really fuzzy. And it's just like the Alec Baldwin story. These guys, and then Alec Baldwin and his beautiful bride this weekend coming out and showing great pictures of their 6 kids on Instagram. I mean, who gives a shit? Stop.
All right, Matt. I found one that I think is.
And why does everything revolve around the Kardashians? I mean, Travis Scott has a baby with, you know, Kylie or whatever. One of Bruce Jenner's daughters. It's
Matt,
crazy.
Penn Gaming. I know we all know that the Stooley in a little bit of a dispute, but Penn Gaming continues to look like it wants to just crushed.
Well, it had the little rally Friday after Davey Boy got on and said he's a horn dog, but it's dog apparently. And so they had a little rally off the bad earnings. To me, it's almost like that's cover for how bad the company's doing. Let's throw Dave out under the bus. See if we can get a little bounce.
Are you trying to suggest that this is an inside?
I don't know.
It was actually in a meeting and said, "All right, I'll take."
It did stop the bleeding for a day. I mean, he had 2 days of higher prices.
Selling one bite Walmart. Bring up Walmart. Let's see what one bite Walmart pizza. That's where he's selling his pizza.
Well, let's just look at it. It did rally up to 60, almost 64 last week. So 56 to 64, back down to 59, down 2 today. So still nothing new there. It's just looking ill, and that should continue into the end of the year. Nothing's going to reverse that thing. Walmart, again, has had a nice Christmas rally already here. And 150, almost 152, back to the high after selling off like the rest of the market. Again, 134 up to 152, but that's a monster move in a month. I mean, we're talking, $500 million market cap. And by the way, I'm just going to point out that Tesla is 3x Walmart in the market cap. Think about that for a little bit. And while we're talking about Walmart, let's take a look at Amazon, because it has had a nice rally the last week after earnings, after a poor report, and it made another new high here. But what's interesting, and I wanted to show this again because we've talked about this level for so many times this year, we banged up against it, took out those with the short-term stops, not the end of day, not the end of week, but the intraday, which is not something I believe you should trade on. You should trade on longer-term factors. So they pointed through that if you were selling right there at that number again, 35.60, you're in the money. We're already about $50. You got 1% today. So congratulations, just by doing your homework and setting yourself up. I mean, you could have sold, again, 3,600 calls when it hit that, and those have collapsed. Very easy trade. A lot of ways to play it. And I point that out because this trade is, you got to continue to take it until it finally closes on a Friday or a month end above this. And it continues to not do this.
Or below it.
Or below it. It just stays within it. And this has been going back to July of 2020. So this has been a year and a half. Very powerful.
And what was the pissing match between Leonardo DiCaprio and Jeff Bezos? Did you see it?
I have no idea. Don't care.
Matt, this is.
By the way, did you watch? Let's talk about something more interesting to me. And that's all that matters is me in this new narcissistic world. I was watching season 11, episode 3 of Curb, which is the new season this year. And last night they were, it was a pretty slow show, but the whole episode had a couple different themes going on. One was dinner parties and how you need to have the Bobs and the Matts as the guys in the middle. They're middlers that can keep the conversation going with all types, right? Which was actually a very good societal, cultural issue. And
yeah, nothing worse than being at a table and getting trapped at the end with
right.
with three people that can't spell their name.
Correct. And so that's what happened in the show. But then they moved Larry to the middle, and he was talking about this gal that had, stage 4 cancer, and everybody was like, oh, enthralled, and they knew her. The gal that they mentioned moved to Bend, Oregon, and he just ran into her in LA. So he said, hey, she just moved to Bend, Oregon. So there you go.
Hey, Bend, Oregon makes the map again.
Again. Larry's brother used to live here. I was acquainted with him. He was a good guy. We used to hang out, grab coffees together, and he looks just like a funny guy. Did stand up himself. Funny guy. So
I'm better at sit down myself, Matt. One last one, I guess, Ether. Let's take a look at Ether. Couple of things in the news about Ether. Brave browser now can incorporate some sort of tokenization, maybe through Solana, which is an ERC20 token. And also Reddit is going to incorporate an ERC20 token. A lot of room in Ether. I would not want to short this thing. It's making...
Well, but let's look at I like to look at your pair here, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I put that up here. So what do you see in here?
Hold on. Well, it's still, it's not going anywhere. Where's it going?
Right. But when we look at Ether versus the dollar, that's like you said, it's making new highs again today, 47, almost 4,800. Looks like it needs to get the even number bingo. So 5,000 should be hit. I bet you the first time it hits it, bangs off of it and comes back down. So put your offer in at $5,000, make a few, maybe make $200 or $300 when it bangs off of that. It will happen.
Weekly collar available 52.30 in Ether. Available on the weekly. All right, man. I don't know what else to talk about.
The bond.
You know what? I do know what to talk about. Music. Let's talk about music, because you shared. What tune was it? Was like the Motown tune that you shared with me. It's somebody else covering it. Come on.
Oh, you mean that was not a Motown. That was Paul Weller doing
it was a Motown, but it sure had Motown influence.
Paul Weller is an awesome, awesome. I think, again, one of my favorite singers, songwriter, performers of our generation. And that original song, My Ever-Changing Moods, was written in the late 70s, early 80s by him and played by the Style Council. And that was after, they were the Jam, and they were the rock band of the UK in the late 70s. The Jam was, and then they became Style Council, and Paul Weller's still been turning out epic. But that was such a great version that he did of My Ever-Changing Moods. I highly suggest you look for it if you're a Weller fan or a Style Council or the Jam fan. He's got a new version of it, but I find that. Paul Weller is still the guy's 70s, kicking out amazing new music. He's been around since, he's really like same age as Paul McCartney, but he's been making great music for almost as long too. And most people don't even know who he is.
Good. It constantly amazes me. Music does when you come across somebody that's been around like this guy, and I'd never heard of him. He's amazing. So Paul Weller, check him out. Good new album. I wanted to throw up the bonds here again. We ran up to 163 Sunday on that opening and have not been able to hold it. We're back down towards 162, but again, this did break out. It looks like it wants to work hard. It's working so hard right now on this bullish run that I don't trust it. I'd rather wait to 164 to 167 to sell in that bracket up there. Right now, I just don't like the trade. It feels like people are standing in a circle and shooting each other on the bonds right now. I can't get a good feeling for really. It's not long-term money that's in control. Short-term money's not in control. So there's something going on underneath that I clearly don't understand. And when you don't understand something, don't trade it. I couldn't agree more. It seems to me
I don't have to trade it just because I like to trade it. If it's not giving me what I need to see, then don't trade it.
All right, Matt. Dominos. Hey, please join us at marketvitals.io. Please share and retweet the broadcast far and wide. Share it with your friends and relatives, dead or alive, jabbed or unjabbed. We don't care. Matt, you have a great day, and we'll be back tomorrow for another segment of Market Vitals. If you have any symbols that you'd like us to cover, and by the way, I forgot it. CCJ, bring it up quick on the way out for Lee.
It's up a dime. Good job, Lee. I don't care about a thin uranium name. I just don't care. I don't care.
Uranium. It's going to the moon.
Don't care.
No.
I mean, Amazon moves $100 today, and we're talking about a dime. Okay. Sorry.
Right on. All right, Matt. Sorry, Lee.
Sorry, Lee. We got to trade something that moves.
You have a great day, Matt.
Peace.